Oh, hello everyone. I know it's been a long time, but welcome back. We got another chapter for Feather Sharp as Knives. Appreciate how patient everyone's been, and we should be coming out with a more steady stream of them now, and hope you're enjoying the read through. So today we'll just be going over chapter 11 and catching up with the story. And yeah, just kind of going from everything that's come before. I'll be putting a little link up in the video up here so you can see everything that's caught up before. And yeah, just start off the series in the playlist queue. And so we're just going to read through chapter 11 as we're building into it. We've been introduced to a new character in the previous chapter, and we're very excited to see these dynamics. So this is Imelda's betrothed, so to speak, the guy who's going to be her fiance, so to speak, has come onto the scene. He's working it, and he actually turns out to be a pretty good guy. We have Venezia coming up, and Imelda as well, and then Selma's gone into the labyrinth. So let's see what's going on as the plot thickens, the wings get built, and the marriage and matrimony is up. So before we start, please feel free to like and subscribe as we get into the reading action and read more of this. I appreciate your guys' patience, and let's get to it. So, Feather Sharp as Knives, Chapter 11. Imelda stood in front of her mirror, turning this way and that to admire her new dress, white with a shockingly deep V silk core and canto, and a small meandros design circling the high waist and a small train trailing behind. She needed to change for dinner, but had just been delivered, and she couldn't wait to try it on. A matching white Columbina mask sat on her mat desk, a new costume for Carnivale. She couldn't wait to wear it in public, but even more, she couldn't wait for Anselmo to see her in it. She was switching the skirt back and forth when someone knocked on the door. "Come in," Imelda said in a sing-song voice. Edita entered and smiled. "What a lovely new dress. It's perfect." "Isn't it?" Imelda twirled once, then pulled her hair over her shoulder and turned around to Edita. "I know. I need to change for dinner." Edita tightened the side ties on Imelda's dress. "No, Ciara May, this dress is perfect for tonight. This is for Carnivale. It's far too fancy for dinner." Edita laughed as she combed her fingers through Imelda's hair. "Has the Doce not sent you a message? Your betrothal is tonight." "Oh, whoa!" Talk about a surprise. She didn't see that coming. Imelda stepped out of Edita's reach. "My what?" Her voice rose to the high ceiling above. "King Ulisse Contarini has arrived." Edita tilted her head ever so slightly. "I believe the Jose asked him to come early. Now let me fix your hair." No, no, no. Dread weighed Imelda's body down. I really like that. That's really telly. Show her body being weighed down. I like that. I just feel like, tell me what the bed, like, give me an example of what that dread feels like. Is it like a bunch of sand getting dropped on her shoulders? Is it she starts sinking into the floor? What kind of that? Because you're telling me how she's feeling. Really get me into this feeling right here. But I'm loving this so far. She could do nothing to stop Edita from pulling her hair over one shoulder and arranging it just so. She turned Imelda to the mirror and smiled. "It's okay to be nervous." I'm not. You don't need to admit it to me. Here, I'll help you." Edita put her arm around Imelda's shoulder and led her through the halls. Imelda dragged her heavy feet as reality added extra weight. Betrothed. Betrothed! Engagement was one thing, with a fiancé hundreds of kilometers away, but officially betrothed before the gods, the king here during Carnivale, the 1 week Imelda was going to have to work on the wings and spend with Anselmo. How could she escape to see him? They'd need an escort with them at all times. They reached the dining room. The doors were closed and 4 guards waited outside. 2 soldiers were Rialtano, but the others wore unfamiliar armor. They had the same olive skin and dark hair as Rialtani, which meant they were from the Ventano Peninsula as well. Ulisse's guards. Imelda froze. Edita gently pushed Imelda. "They're expecting you, Ciara May." Imelda held her ground. "No, please. I need a moment. Just a moment." Yeah, she'll need a few more than that. Maybe a few drinks as well. I'll tell them you're still coming down. Edita went outside. Imelda paced, ignoring the guards. She'd come up with a plan. Somehow, Arturo would help. She could be their escort. Maybe she and Ansama could find a way to be alone. At least once. Gods above, how she needed more than just one time with him, though. Edita appeared moments later, holding the door open. It's time, Siora May. Imelda took a deep breath, wiped her palms on her dress, and stepped inside. She'd expected everyone else to be here, but at the moment only Primo and one other man stood by the large windows of the dining hall, talking quietly. She slowly walked forward. Here she is, Primo said, holding his arm out. Imelda's fiancé and soon-to-be betrothed turned. Shock stilled her tongue. She'd anticipated someone like Primo, stiff and formal, but Ulisse was neither of those things. He lounged more than stood. His fine clothes and gold circlet were in immaculate shape. It seemed like an afterthought. Something in the way his hair was a bit ruffled and his beard lacked the stiff, precise lines Rialto men preferred. His eyes were bright, his olive skin tanned from the sun, and his smile easy. Behind him stood a large guard wearing a plumed helmet and serious expression. Siora Albizi, Ulisse said with a deep bow of his head. You are even lovelier than the portrait Primo sent me. That is a rare treat. I told you, Primo said. I don't believe anything I don't see with my own eyes. You know that. She accepted his cheek kisses with bewilderment. Such a man was friends with Primo? She'd only seen her cousin with uptight politicians. Thank you, Your Majesty, she managed to say. She floundered as surely as a fish dropped to the deck of a boat. And I've rendered you speechless with my good looks, I see, he laughed. Call me Ulisse. I'm only king because I'm a lucky bastard. Come, sit. He led her by the hand to the dining table. He pulled out a chair for Imelda. Imelda looked back at Primo, who had a decidedly smug twist to his lips. Lucky? She asked. Born to the right parents, Ulisse said. All of us are. That's the only thing separating us from the poor wretches in the gutter. Okay, so this is really, really good. So I'm loving the tension and the way she is. You can tell she's being lulled in from him. I feel like there's a beat missing here. I don't know if anyone else agrees with me because this is really good. So I don't think there's anything wrong. But like the idea of like he had decidedly smug twist to his lips. And then before she talks to him, I would like a beat where she just looks at him. Like he looks in her. She was staring at his eyes or his gold circlet before she said, just a small beat to breathe so we can take the thought from Primo back to her focus on Ulisse, because you're already bringing the idea of her being captivated by him. And I just feel like one simple sentence of like putting Primo aside, she looked at the man before her and trying to find her words said, lucky? Question mark. Something like that. I just feel like that would really add a nice beat. Take it or leave it. I don't know if it's perfect, but I just feel like we did such a great build up to it, and it just drops a little flat. But this is really compelling. Wow. Born to the right parents, Ulisse said. All of us are. That's the only thing separating us from the poor wretches in the gutter. She swallowed, her throat dry as wool roving. Where's everyone else? I thought it best to let you two meet before the ceremony, Primo said, but he'd had no problem completely surprising her with her own betrothal. I'll wait for the guests outside. Primo walked out. Then Ulisse turned to his guard. Arrigo, give us some privacy, Ulisse said. The guard bowed and left. I think we can kill this said here. When he turns to his guard, we know who's talking. I brought you a gift. Ulisse pulled a velvet sack out of his pocket and held it to her. It was far heavier than it appeared. She pulled out a necklace with a large pale blue stone surrounded by diamonds. It twinkled in the candlelight, brighter than a star. It's aquamarine, Ulisse said. May I? She gave it to him, then leaned forward so he could slip the necklace over her head. It's lovely, she said. Lovely and heavy. A weight that pressed against her chest. It clearly cost a lot of money. Money he'd earned selling services like a common merchant. Even Imelda could tell that much. He was obviously trying to impress Primo. True, her cousin wasn't there, but he'd see the necklace in a few minutes. Ulisse was a lackey and a sycophant, and this guy routine was clearly a ruse. Oh my gosh, alright, Imelda, alright. Prima couldn't be friends with such a man as this king pretended to be. Yeah, I have never dated girls like that ever. Who make a bunch of assumptions, and when you're nice to them, assume you're this terrible person that you're not. Never had that happen before. Completely erroneous, strange text. I don't know where that's coming from. That's sarcasm, by the way, for anybody who can't. That's very well played. She'd have to play along. For her to be able to get away, she'd have to earn his trust. Maybe she'd even let him see the wings, and his greed would let her keep working on them. She'd ask Arturo for his opinion, but play along she must. She forced a smile. It didn't have to be genuine. Surely he'd understand her anxiety. I'm so glad you like it. It reminds me of the winter sea at Heraclea. It glistens as the waves do, and the sunlight dances on the water just as the diamonds catch the light. Sacrestano nobilities vacation on our beaches. The coastline is peppered with their ruins. They called it the jewel of the Mishirisano. I butchered that word. Mishirisano. I know you'll fall in love with it. He reached toward her, hesitated, then took her hand in his. They weren't as smooth as a king's hand should be. He performed some kind of labor, in addition to chilling himself out. How classy. Oh my gosh, Imelda, chill out. I know this is a frightening prospect for you. His voice dropped. Nothing I say will change that in the next few weeks. But if there's anything you need from me, anything at all, just ask. Your happiness is my only priority. How about cancel this wedding? If only she could be so forthright. If only she could dictate her own future in such a way. Tell me about the sea silk Corantanto. I'll teach you how to harvest it if you like. We can take diving trips together. Okay. I'm pretty sure. Tell me about the sea silk Corantanto. I'm pretty sure this is Imelda. No, it's in the same paragraph, or it's Ulisse. I'm losing who's talking, though, right now. Real talk. I'll teach you how to harvest it if you like. We can take driving trips together. I can row myself when you're busy. Oh, okay. I can row myself when you're busy. His hand slips on hers. I'd enjoy it more if we went together. Oh, she's like, I can row myself when you're busy. That's her. His hand slipped on hers. I'd enjoy it more if we went together. His smile returned, not as grand as before. It would be an excellent opportunity to get to know each other. The doors opened. Primo, Lucrezia, their children, Venezia, her husband, Arturo, Ulisse's guards, and the temple patriarch entered. It really was. Is Lucrezia Primo's wife? It's funny, I don't think she's been mentioned before. It really was a betrothal. Imelda closed her eyes. She'd stained her soul by being with Anselmo while betrothed to another man. She'd cared about it, yes, but she cared about Anselmo more. It'll be fine, Ulisse whispered. When she opened her eyes, he had a small smile on his lips. Of course, her voice cracked. He helped her stand, then led her to the window where the patriarch stood. The others gathered around. The patriarch beamed. He had a large loop of Corancanto. What a joyous occasion to gather together tonight. The gods are pleased with your decision to elevate your engagement to a most holy betrothal. Their joy second only to the joy of your upcoming marriage. Your Majesty, please take Signora Albizi by the hands. Ulisse did so and smoothed his thumbs over her fingers, seemingly as a comforting gesture. It took everything Imelda had not to pull herself free, though his grip was not tight. Betrothal is a sacred union, a declaration of two individuals that they will honor each other from this point on. Once we place the spirit rose yoke upon you, you promise to remain faithful in deed and in thought to each other until you die. Oh, that's heavy. If one of you transgresses this law, you will be held accountable for your sin at your judgment after you pass from this life. Oh, man. If you do not wish to proceed, now is the time to let it be known. King Contarini, do you swear total fidelity to Imelda Albizi? Man, obviously I know it's not part of the story, that, you know, she's just like, hey, I'm done, I'm gonna peace out. Could you imagine if she's like, you know what? I'm really not feeling this, guys. I wonder what the flack back would be on that. Well, then get out of the house. I wonder. Anyway, back to the story. Ulysses's hands twitched slightly, but he nodded. I do. And you, Siora Albizi, do you swear total fidelity to Ulisse Contarini? That's funny, she's not called by her first name, but he is. That's weird. It's a good detail. This was supposed to be Anselmo standing across from her. They were meant to promise their lives to each other. Play along, play along. Her breath hitched as she forced a nod. I do. Wonderful. I know what this exact feeling feels like. The patriarch gave one side of the corn conto to Ulisse, who placed it over Imelda's head. The patriarch twisted the loop once, then handed the other side to Imelda. With shaking hands, she reached up to drape it over Ulysses' head. Spirit Rose Corn Conto, the patriarch said, and the figure-8 symbol of infinity seals this betrothal for this life and beyond. Congratulations. Oh my god. Lucrezia hugged Imelda and kissed her cheeks. Primo kissed cheeks with Ulisse. Everyone is happy. Everyone except Imelda. She forced back tears that welled in her eyes as they led her to the table to dine next to her betrothed, wearing a dress she had intended for a carnival night with Anselmo. The thin spirit rose Conconta lay heavy across her shoulders, binding her to Ulisse and pulling her away from Anselmo. Now that, guys, is a sick ending. Oh, let me orient my camera here. That is a crazy ending. That was insane. Wow. So talk about some heavy implications for everything moving up. So other than a few comments, I felt like this read really, really well. And this was, I think, really outside of just that beat of paying more. And then you can definitely see the resistance between her not wanting to like him. And I think the Christina, the author, did a really good job showing that resistance to not wanting to like someone because of where they stand in opposition to your goals. And that was a really, really good way to write that. And wow, the story is really intense. I didn't see the betrothal coming either. That's really sudden. So that's a really good story twist, right? Talk about just you're 11 chapters into, I think it's about near 60 chapters. And this is a really good start. This is a really powerful start. So lots of tension, lots of drama, lots of action. There's a lot of times and things kind of spreading out. I'm really excited to see what's next and to see how this is going. So guys, stay tuned, keep it up, and check out the rest of the series as we're going to be reading it through. I say the video series of reading through this book, kind of going through some small notes. And we're looking forward to the actual release of it in the time being. I'll make sure to put a link down below when the time comes. This is really exciting. So guys, keep it up. Enjoy Feather Sharp as Knives. And as we continue to read through it, learning what we can from the manuscript and building on the fantastic writing of Mrs. Atkins, the writer. Thanks so much, guys, for coming in. Please subscribe, like, and put any comments down for anything you guys feel you are enjoying about the story or think could be improving about the manuscript. It's always great stuff to learn from other authors and people who are aspiring to build it up. Guys, keep it up. Thanks so much. Stay happy, stay healthy, and remember, keep writing. Peace.